Hello, the PSN community. I'm Asif, the community manager, and today I am joined by David Nicklin. David is our featured guest speaker at the PSN Northwest event taking place in Manchester on the 9th of November. Welcome, David. It's great to have you. How are you today?
Great, Asif, and nice to see you as well. So, yeah.
It's always a pleasure to see you as well. So could you tell our lovely viewers what you do?
Yeah, so predominantly I look after the estate planning side of legacy finance. I'm the MD. So we look at, we basically look after people's legacies. So we help people put wills in place. We look after we do look after the trust. We sort of start to specialise around the property sector, because what we find is that you get a lot of property guys out there, and they just keep their heads down and build the wealth. Very good at it, very focused. What they seem to sort of miss out is where the or not give a great deal of thought to is where the legacy is going to end up, and how efficient from a tax perspective, what the efficiency looks like. So that's generally the sector that I've sort of been looking at for a lot of the property clients, and it's just really just educating them and providing some. I think it's what you don't know is what can hurt you the most, and a lot of these property guys just keep their head down and just build their wealth and to sort of provide them with the information so they can make some informed decisions.
Okay, so you've kind of talked about it a little bit, but what are you going to be speaking about at the event?
So I'm looking at sort of main 5 estate planning actions, and it's more about not why you need a will, yeah, but what are the consequences of not having one, and how does it affect your family? Because having a good will in place makes sure that your family, are looked after, and people receive the right money at the right time, and your legacy obviously goes to the right place in the most tax efficient manner. So there's some five key estate planning actions that I'm going to be discussing, and really just to get people thinking about what they've got in place. Is it good enough? Do they need to review? Do they need to take professional advice? And just really helping people understand that there's no cutting corners with this. Yeah, it's all about sort of seeking professional advice, not just going online and doing a will and ticking the box, or saying I'm going to do a will and kicking it down the road for 4 or 5 years. It's about helping people understand that they should take action, and it's a responsible thing to do for the families. That's really sort of the gist. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail about what a trust is, all of that type of thing. Obviously, we'll have a Q&A, so I'll have plenty of questions coming my way, I should imagine. But it's more about sort of the consequences of not having a will, and just giving people a bit of an understanding, because a lot of the property guys who have investment companies, and they don't realise that those investment companies, all the assets they build in the investment companies, essentially go towards their taxable estate for inheritance tax, and they think because they've got a limited company that there's no inheritance tax on those assets that sit in with a limited company. So just really providing that information. I'm going to talk a bit about sort of, having what life insurance you've got in place, and is it in trust, and why trust, and the consequences of not having it in trust. And we're going to touch a bit around the SaaS space, about death benefits as well, so that may interest quite a few people. And I'm going to talk about some inheritance tax planning as well.
Amazing. So obviously people have been working very hard during their careers, and they want to be able to give back to their family, to their children. They want to create a legacy, and this is what you're going to be talking about. But why should people come down and listen to your talk?
I like to think that I don't go into massive technical detail. It's just really the conceptual of having a will. Why do you need? What are the consequences of not having a will? So we're not going to go into sort of massive in-depth, technical jargon. Yeah, I like to keep it nice and simple, and also it gives people an opportunity to ask questions in a safe environment. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and I'll try my best to provide an answer to whatever people ask. Yeah, but keeping it simple. And it is, it can be a complicated area when you get stuck into the planning side of it. but really it's quite a formulaic approach. And I just want to try and get that over to people that, that just the differences between, having a basic will versus why should you have trust, what generational inheritance tax is all about. And I guess I like to focus on the property sector. So people who are coming to the event are generally property people because of the nature of the event. So it'll give people an insight into, what, if they've got planning, is it right? Give opportunity to people to ask questions and really, some pointers or some tips really. So that's my plan for the evening.
Amazing. So a lot of value. Well, you've been great, but one of the things that I like to do with our featured guest speakers is play a little bit of a game called This or That. And basically, I'll give you two options. Option one might be apple. Option two might be banana. And you have to quickly pick which one you prefer. So it's basically the person behind the property, the person behind the wills and trusts. So first one, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Indian food or Chinese food?
Indian food.
Staying in or going out?
Definitely going out.
Success or happiness?
Happiness.
And finally, would you like to travel in time or be able to fly?
Well, I think I'd like to just fly.
Brilliant. Where would you fly to?
I fly to my favourite place, which is Spain.
Amazing. And probably anywhere else around the world as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, is there anything else you would like to add for our lovely viewers?
I think it'll be an interesting event. We've got Lars speaking first, who's always great to listen to. I'm going to keep the estate planning pretty property centric. So we'll keep it sort of very focused around that area. And it'll just give people lots of opportunities to ask questions.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, perfect. Lots of opportunity to ask questions and lots of value as well. So, PSN community, if you loved what David talks about today, then please come and join us on the 9th of November. Tickets can be bought from our website, www.thepsn.co.uk. But for now, goodbye, and we'll see you very soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Izzy. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you.